Start the recording.
All right, a very good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining in this week again. So some of you here, I see you last week and I see you again here. And for those of you who just joined this session, the second session, don't worry. You can request from call for the first session's video. Now, we're going to have about 7 different topics with one Ask Me Anything session at the end. So this particular session was meant for you to build up a strong foundation before we go to a higher level topic. So the first day of the session, we talk about data type. This round, I'm going to talk about Excel references. So there are four main things that I want to talk about in this 1 hour that I have with all of you. Because every session is only 1 hour, and I will not have a lot of things to talk in this 1 hour. I just want to make sure that you understand topic by topic. So this round, I'm going to talk about Excel references, which is includes cell references. How do you use name range? How do you make the data dynamic? And how do you use 3D reference? There will be a little bit of overlapping on topic like making cell dynamic using tables and also what do you call that? Using formulas. So today I'm going to show you how to make it use formula. Right, formula. So there will be a little bit of changes in my files, but it's okay. We can work around it. All right, so we're going to start with the first one called cell references. So just a sound check. Is everybody here hearing me loud and clear?
Yes.
Good. Can hear. Can hear.
Yeah, okay, good. Now I just want to make sure I don't talk to myself and everybody can hear me. Otherwise, no point. Right? I'm talking, but nobody can hear me. All right. Yeah, the first thing that I want to talk about is Excel reference. Now, Excel reference are divided into 3. Okay. Basically, they are divided into 3 different type of references that we commonly use in our formula. So let me just go through this part here first to tell you the name. So the type of references Excel uses, it's called, number 1, it's called relative reference. Relative reference. The second one is called the absolute reference. And the last one is called the mixed references. Mixed references. So I'll give you a little bit of example of each of these function here that I'm each of these references that we'll be using. All right, so let's go back to this data. Now, this is a year 2021 sales channel report where they have 11 product in this list. If you look at number 1 to number 11, there are 11 product in this list, and each and every one of them have a code. So there are 3 different type of what do you call this channel that they are selling, whether it's direct, online, or retail. If you look into it, there are 3, and these are all the total sales for each of the product for direct, online, and retail respectively. So I'm going to give a very simple example here. Now, this is not meant for high-level people who use Excel a lot, but I just want to make sure that you understand the 3 different references and how do you use them in your formula in the future, right? So the first thing I want to talk about here is the relative reference. So let me show you how am I going to do this. Now, if I click on this G3, normally we will go to this home ribbon, we will click on this sum button here and we choose sum, or we just click the icon, let me just double click this. Just use this icon called auto sum. We usually just click that. Now, what I want to talk about here is not the function itself. No, I'm not interested to discuss about the function. I'm interested to discuss with you about the references. The references. This one and this one. Okay, so in Excel, every time when you use a range reference like this, that means you need to have something here, they call it the start. You must tell them where you want to start, and then you must tell them where you want them to end. All right, so that's the start, and this is going to be the end. Now, how do you define a range? You have to use this semicolon here, this semicolon. Right? So the semicolon that you see here, semicolon is actually like something like in English, we call it until. That means till, T-I-L, we just put that till. T-I. which means you are starting from one cell until the end. So in this case, the starting cell is D3. So it's starting from D3 until the cell F3. Now you may be thinking, hey, this is way basic for most people, right? Now there's a reason why I'm talking about this. There's another topic right at the end. You will also use the same structure of references, but in a very different way. Right? We're going to write a 3D reference for that. So I just want you to know for anything that you define as a range, you will have a start and the end. Okay, so once I press enter, I'll get the answer. So let me just put a formula at the side so that we can see the difference. I'm going to write this formula text, sorry, equals to formula text of this cell. I want to show what's the formula inside the cell G3. So they tell me the cell, that the reference, or shall I say the formula that I'm using here is sum of D3 to F3. So usually once we have completed the first answer, we will go to the dot here and we'll drag it down. Now I'm going to do this slowly. I'm going to drag it down one cell. When I drag it down one cell, you notice the answer is different. They are copying the formula down, but the answer is different. That's because the reference now has already moved to D4, F4. Okay, let's take a look at it. D4, F4. So if I were to copy this down until the end, until number 13, row number 13, you notice my formula will have different numbers. That's because they are now no more referring to the same reference. It's already moved. So you notice the D3 has gone to D4, D5, D6. They keep changing, right? They keep changing. It's moving downwards. Now that's because when I have my cell just now, I actually drag this little dot and I pull it down. That's why they are changing from D3 to D4, D5. So this is what we call the relative reference because it's a moving reference. The reference moved from D3 to D4 to D5 all the way down until we stop D13. That's why they are called a relative reference. So the direction that I copied just now was from top to bottom. Now, let me show you here. If I click this auto sum, now I'm not going to drag down the formula. I'm going to drag it to the right. I'm going to drag it to the right. And this is the answer. So let's take a look at the answer equals to formula text of the cell above. Now you notice that these are the formula. When I drag it across, this time, the one that is moving is no longer the D3 and the D4. The 3 become 4, the 14 become 15. No, it actually changed from D. Now they move to E. Because I'm moving from left to right, the direction now changed from D to E, right? E to F, then F to G. Oops, what happened? Okay, never mind. So I'm showing you that the reference is actually moving from left to right. Left to right. You notice D to E, E to F, F to G. That's what happened just now. Right? So all these are called relative reference. Okay, so relative reference simply means moving reference. So if I'm copying the formula left to right, the alphabet is changing. If I'm copying the formula from top to bottom, the number row is moving. Okay, so I'm going to delete all the answer here. Now, if you have the file with you, you can try this along. You can follow this together. Now, basically, just now I was doing it very slowly because I want to explain to you the movement of the reference. So now, I don't expect you to do it that way in future. If you want to get this kind of total, you should have just select all the value that you are going to calculate, and you make sure you have one empty column, whether it's at the immediately after the numbers or can be a bit further. Like now, this one, I go to row number 15. I choose row number 15. So whatever I'm going to do later, you notice that the answer is going to be at the last column or last row. So I'm going to click auto sum only once, and that's it. The answer is out already. I don't have to work so hard to get one, then drag it down, get the other one and drag it across. I don't have to do that. Now, if I check the formula equals to formula text of this cell, you will notice that it's the same formula. The same formula that I showed you just now, but I'm doing it a lot faster now I did not take one answer and drag it down, but I do all this answer together. And all this answer, I do it together. So they are 11 plus 4, about 13 sum function written almost instantly. Okay, let me show it to you again. Now, if you are looking at, if you miss the part, right, all you need to do is just highlight the entire set of data, and then depends on where you would like to put the total. If you would like to put the total in column I, then you highlight all the way until column I, and you want to put it in row number 17, you highlight until row number 17, you can click. So the answer will always be at your last row of your selection and the last column of your selection. Okay, last row, the last column of your selection. So in this example, I'm not supposed to do that. I'm supposed to do until G15. So I just click auto sum. One cell name. Now, if I do not want to use the auto sum, I can always use alternate equal. There's a keyboard shortcut. If you put your mouse over this, you will notice that there's a keyboard shortcut, alternate plus the equal symbol. So if you are using a normal Windows machine, you just hold an alternate and you press equal, you will still get the answer without using the mouse. See, my mouse pointer is down here. I didn't move up here to click. It was down here all the while. I just put alternate equal, you'll get the answer. And you can do that as well. Right? So that is a shortcut that you can use to get the answers. All right. So I hope this little bit of experiment that we are doing here, you understand what is relative reference. Relative reference means the reference that is moving. Whenever you copy the formula somewhere else, the reference won't stay when it will move away. Right? Now, the next one that I'm going to talk about here is the calculation for percentage. I would like to know the first product, DSR 100 ml, the total, okay, the total to 25,000 constitute how many percent of the overall sales? I want to know this particular product contributed how many percent of the overall sales revenue. So I'm going to do this equals to, I'm going to take the cell. And you notice how I do it? I didn't type the G3. I use my mouse, I click it. Then I press the divide. Then I'll click on the overall total, which is G15. Now, when I press enter, this particular cell, I have already formatted it with percentage. That's why you see the percentage is already there. So if I didn't press percentage earlier, it will be like this, 0.107118291. Now I'm going to change it to percentage. So automatically it'll give me a 2 decimal place at the back. So let's take a look at the formula, equals to formula text of this cell. So G3 over G15. So I'm going to select these two cells and I'm going to copy it down. Confidently, I'm copying it down, but just to realize that it's an error message. So if you look at this G3 over G15, the second one is G4, which is 28,910, divided by G16, which is down here. So let's take a look. Where is this G16? G16 is here. The next one, G17 come down here. So you notice that the G16 and G17 is actually empty. There's nothing inside. So you're getting an error that says you are dividing it by a cell which is empty or 0. Whenever you see a cell empty, when you write a formula, Excel will automatically translate empty cell to 0. So you are dividing it by 0. Therefore, you get an error. So in order for you to get this answer correct, you must make sure you tell them, hey, G15, don't go away, stay where you are. So how are we going to tell them to stay where they are? Now I'm going to double click the formula. Okay, I just have to be anywhere, whether it's in front, in between, or I double click it to select it. Then I will make this particular G15 a permanent fixed reference called absolute reference. Okay, so how do I do that? I just have to press a keyboard shortcut on my keyboard called F4. Now, some of your computer will just press F4. Some of your computer will have to press the function key Fn, F4. So it depends on which model or laptop that you're using or which is set as a primary and a secondary key of your function key. So in my case, it's just F4. So I'm just going to press one F4. You notice that the reference now has changed to $G, $15. So $G, $15 is where it means absolute referencing. Again, I repeat, we press F4. So we just have to select that range, that particular reference, and we will just make it, put a dollar symbol there. Now, if your F4 key doesn't work, don't panic. You can type the dollar symbol manually, no problem. You just have to put the 2 symbol there. Now, when the reference comes with $2 symbol in it, that is actually an absolute referencing. So let's take a look. I did not make everything absolute. This is still relative. Right? This is still relative. Right? But this one, sorry, this one, now it's called absolute. Okay, this is called absolute. So one of them is a relative. So you know just now that relative will move, but the absolute will stay. Let's test it out. Let's see whether it works or not. Huh? So I have still the same answer, 10.71. But if I copy this down, I'll get all my answer. So if you study the formula at the side here, you notice all the G15 actually didn't go away. They stay where they are. They will be always G15. Now, I always joke about this lah. If you don't want that cell to move away, you treat them like human, no? You treat them like human. What do? You give them money. If you give them money, they will stay. If you don't give them money, they will run away. All right, let's think of that. No, if you want them to stay and do your work, give them the money, they will do it for you. Right? Of course, money is not everything. Some people do it for free. But what I'm saying is that if you look at the human nature, if you work in a company, you don't work for free, is it? You want salary. You want to have a livelihood after that, right? So if I still pay you the salary, you will stay. If I stop paying you the salary, you will run away. Just think of that, right? You will think about that kind of thing. So whenever you see the dollar symbol, they won't go away. The reason is because they will be busy counting the money, whereas G3 does not have money, so they will run away and start moving from top to bottom. Okay, so the one reference that comes with the dollar symbol means is an absolute reference, right? So these are the absolute referencing. Now, any questions so far? Yes, please, Stephanie.
Yeah, just now, Kelvin, you show that to using AutoNet plus equal to have the auto sum function, right?
Yeah.
Why I try it can't? It means AutoNet plus.
Yeah, on your keyboard, the alternate key is usually next to your key, your space bar one, the ALT.
Yes, yes.
Then hold down, then you press the equal sign.
I just try it, but it didn't work out. That's why I feel quite sure.
You have two alternate key, right? If one alternate key doesn't work, try the other one.
Okay. Try the other one. Also can't. That's why I feel quite strange.
You are using Mac or what?
Okay. It can already now. It's can already. Yeah,
Why,
sorry.
what happened?
Yeah, I think maybe something wrong of when I'm pressing. I'm finally now I get window.
Not like this, Not like this, Not press and press, You must hold down the alternate key and press the equal.
Yeah. I think this is something that I didn't do it well. Thank you for that.
No problem.
This round I get Microsoft 2019, so I think I should be a little bit updated.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good.
Thanks.
All right, thanks for the question. Good. So you understand the reference, the absolute reference,
Understand.
One will move whenever you copy the formula elsewhere. The other one, when you copy and paste it somewhere, it doesn't move. It will stay where they are. Right. So that's the major difference between these two. Okay. Now I'm going to zoom in closer to this part here, this formula. Now this reference, it's called absolute reference. So if you have a dollar in front of the G, so assuming G, this is column G, it is not going anywhere. It will stay where they are because they got a dollar in front. So always remember the term, money come first. The money sign must come before. So if the money sign come before the G, that means your column G is locked. So if the money sign come before 15, that means your 15 is also locked. So when your column and your row is locked, then this become an absolute reference. Okay, now I feel like I'm slowing down like 1000%, trying to explain to you what this dollar symbol here means to everyone. Huh? Now I'm going to do something on my keyboard now. I'm going to press F4 again. So I'm going to press F4. With the selection on, I press F4. You see what happened to my reference? You will not see $2 symbol, but you will only see $1 symbol. This $1, the dollar symbol, it's not in front of G, but it's in front of 15, which means the row 15 is locked, but the G is not. Which means if I copy the formula up and down, the 15 will still stay in 15. But when I copy the formula from left to right, the G will go to H, I, J, K, left to right. When you copy the formula left to right, the G will go to H, I, J because the G does not come with the dollar symbol. Therefore, it is not absolute. It's relative. So you notice that every reference comes with a column and a row. If the column is not locked, that means they are free to move. But if the 15 is locked, then the 15 won't go anywhere. In this case, this type of reference is called mixed references. Mixed reference. I'm only locking the row, but I didn't lock the column. If I press my F4 again, this time I lock my G, which means if I copy from left to right, the G will stay. But when I copy up or down, the 15, let's just say I'm copying it down, the 15 will go to 16, 17, 18, 19, and so on. Because 15 does not have the dollar symbol, therefore it will start moving. Okay, so this type of referencing that you see just witness here, these are called the mixed references. Mixed references, the three references that I was talking about just now. So let me summarize it for you over here. So if I use A1 as an example, this will be A1. A1. Okay. Then absolute reference will be $A, $1. Okay, that's absolute referencing. If I'm using mixed reference, that means this is going to be $A1, or it can be $1. Hey, where's my one? Okay, one. So they mixed reference can appear in two different kind of situation, whether you only lock the column or you only lock the row. You don't lock both. If both are locked, they are absolute. If both are not locked, they are relative. We understand this reference that I'm talking about?
Mm.
So how do we change? We use what? Function key F4. Some of you may need to press Fn, F4 to do that. Correct? You have to press like Fn first before you can press the F4, depending on the setting on your laptop, right? Or you can actually type the dollar symbol manually. You can type it in manually. It doesn't matter if you cannot use your F4 button. You type in the dollar manually yourself. Okay, so these are the three different type of reference that Excel uses throughout the first version until now. These are the references that Excel has been using for all your formula writing. So some of you may have seen the dollar symbol before, but you have no idea what is that. So it looks like very technical, okay, but they are not. They are simply just a representation to tell you, please stay. So I used the analogy just now. If you want them to stay, pay them the money. If you don't want them to stay, don't pay them, they will go away. Right, so it's a bit easy for you to remember in that way. Pay the money and they will stay. So are we clear about these three different references that I was talking about? Give me a reaction, a thumbs up or something like that, so at least I know. Okay, cool, thank you. So I guess the rest of you also okay, if you're not much response yet. Okay, Carissa, yes, good.
Okay.
Okay, this one is very basic, but I have to slow down and tell you this because it affects the rest of the understanding later. Now, I'm going to pay a little bit more attention to this one. Okay, I'm laying down the foundation. Now I'm going into this absolute referencing. Now, this is very common. Everyone who writes Excel formulas will somehow come across this kind of references. But this time, I'm going to share with you what else or how else you can make a reference permanent without giving them the dollar symbol. All right, so let's move on to the next worksheet. I'm going into something called name range already. Name range. So I'm just going to focus on the same formula that I have written here just now. So for me to calculate the percentage, I need the G3 and divide it by G15. I guess everyone just remember this is what I have written here just now. So I'm going to rewrite this formula, but this time I already know that G15 is going to be a permanent reference. Okay, G15 is going to be a permanent reference. Therefore, I'm going to give this G15 a name. Okay, I'm going to give this G15 a name. Now click in the cell G15. You have to go to the cell that you want to give a name. So I want this G15 to have a name. I click on the cell, I go to the name box. So this is where the name box is. This is where the name box is. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to click inside the name box. I'm going to type there, total, T-O-T-A-L, total. And I just press enter. I'll give a name. So now G15 has a name. Now, if I remember correctly, last week I did mention about this as well. But I didn't give you any, I did not elaborate further, but I just told you that the cell can have names. I even give you a range of cells that can have names. But just to let you know that now I'm using it for formula. I'm going to write this equals to, now I'm going to use my mouse to click. I click my 25,938. Then I divide it by, I press a slash button here, a slash key here. Then I use my mouse, I click on this 242. When I click on the cell G15, it doesn't show G15 anymore, but it will show the name total. That's because I have given total, I have given the name total to G15. So now they will use the name total. Okay, let me write the formula at the side here, formula text. So, there you go. So if I copy this two down, you will notice that I will get all my answers and the total will still remain total. Total is a permanent reference referring to G15. Okay, total will not go to total 1, total 2, total 3, total 4. They will still remain in G15 only. So total now is referring to G15. G15 is called total. So with that, I don't have to pay the money. I don't have to give the dollar symbol to the reference. I'm already giving this particular cell G15 a recognition. I give them a name instead, a recognition. So I give it a name. So now I can write this particular formula, right, using name. Now the good news here is, now let me just go to the worksheet called January report. Let me just go to the site a little bit. If I click on this cell now, I click on this cell J, I say equals to, I can type TO, then I will notice that the name total is already in here. Okay, there will be a tooltip here that says that total. So I'm going to come down here, I double click on the total. So when I press enter, I will be expecting to see 242,000. 242,000, 143.52. That's exact value down here. So which means if I've given a cell a name, that particular name can be used across the board, right, in the same workbook. Across all worksheet, they can remember total, and total is referring to this particular worksheet, name range G15. Okay, now most of us will write something like this. Okay, equals to, right, we will go to this name range and we type there G15. Okay, so it's actually the same thing. So equals to formula text of this cell. Sorry, where did I reference this to? Yeah. So basically they are the same formula. They are the same formula. They are referring to the same place, but this will look very technical because it comes with the worksheet name, with all the single quote, with the exclamation mark, then with the G15. So a lot of people may not know this belongs to what. This name range G15, they have to start looking for it. Where is this name range G15? They have to look for the worksheet, name range, then they have to go for G15. Now, however, when you read the formula with equals to total, you will already know that this is referring to the total. Now, you will ask, where is this total? Okay, you can go to the name box again. There's a drop-down list. The name is already in the name box. So you just have to click, it will bring you there. Okay, it will bring you to that particular location. You don't have to find it yourself. As far as this formula is concerned, there's no way you can actually know where is this by clicking here because it's not in the list. Only the word total is in the list. This one is a direct manual reference, so you have to manually look for it. But if you are using a name, the list will always be in the name box. Right? If it's a reference, it will be always in the name box. Understand? See, I can bring it over there. No problem. Okay, questions, anyone? Right?
Kelvin,
Yes, go.
is there any place that we can see all the name list?
That one you have to ask the manager. The manager can show you everything. You know where is the manager? The manager is inside the formula. Now, I meant it, no? When I say manager means it's a manager lah. Manager that manage the name lah.
Oh, okay, good.
Don't go and look for a person. It's actually this button. So when I
Okay.
click here, the names, if you have a lot, they will be listed down here. Okay, all the names will be here. So if you look carefully, I have something here called COMM, and it's actually 0.15. So I didn't tell you that name must be a reference. I didn't say that, but we can change a reference into a name. So name can also refer to a fixed value, which is like 0.15. So COMM stands for commission. So if I'm paying commission 15%, and I do not want to tell people that I'm paying 15%, I can across the board just use COMM. When I write my formula, I just put there equals to the sales multiply with COMM. But I'm not telling people how many percent. If that person is has already attended Excel trainings and knows a lot about all this kind of thing, they will come to the name manager and take a look. And you cannot hide one. All these are there. They cannot hide it. Okay, so these are the names.
So
yes.
So just now in the name manager, they got the range. Name range is the spreadsheet name, right? The names range is referred to the spreadsheet, right?
Yeah, basically, if you look carefully, the name total is referring to what?
The name range is referred to the sheet, the spreadsheet lah.
Name range is your worksheet name lah.
Yeah, I mean this the $G$15 is the number you get from that spreadsheet lah.
Yes. So instead of we use our brain here to remember the worksheet name and the cell, now we remember total.
Yeah.
Right. So we don't want to remember all this technical stuff. So we name it to something more friendly to us, a name friendly kind of Excel formula. Okay, so only for permanent reference, which is absolute, you cannot name a relative reference, only for absolute referencing on it. So if you are writing a lot of those formula like VLOOKUP, a lot of this if logic must refer to this one permanently, this kind of thing, you give them a name. Only for permanent referencing, you give them a name. If it's a mixed reference or relative reference, you cannot have a name. A name is only for absolute referencing. Now, in the event you make a mistake. Oh, I don't want to call total. Every worksheet also got total. Now, the thing about the name is all the names you use in this name manager, they have to be unique. You cannot reuse the same name. You cannot reuse the same name. You cannot go to another cell and you call it total. You cannot do that. So if there's already one person by the name of Stephanie, I cannot have another name called Stephanie. Right? I may have to give a person another name. So in this kind of situation, when you want to make the changes of that name, you want to make some changes, there are two things you can do. Number one, you can change the reference. If you point to the wrong cell, you can change the reference here. If you're pointing to the wrong cell. But if you say name, I want to change this name, then I have to go to edit button here. The edit will allow you to edit the name. That's the only place that allow you to change the name, by the way. I click here, edit, I can start changing the name. So maybe I would like to call this one as channel total. Now, take a look at how I type the name. Channel total. Okay, so what they say in the Excel rules when it comes to this, it says there no space or symbols. You are not allowed to have any space or symbol within your names, except, I got one exception here, except underscore. Except underscore. Only underscore is allowed. Okay, and then you cannot start with number. The name cannot start with a number. You cannot put there 2022 channel total. Cannot. You cannot start the name with a number, but you can call it channel total 2022 or 2021. The number cannot be the first character of your name. If you want to put a number in front, perhaps you start with the underscore 2021 channel total. You start with an underscore. So at least it's not starting with a number. It's okay. Okay. Then you cannot use any existing name. Existing name. Right? Example, what I mean by existing name. Example, like you cannot say, I'm in the cell G15. Oh, I want to call the cell G15 A1. This one is a no-no. No. You cannot name other cell like G15 and they say, no, I want to call G15 A1. Cannot. A1 is already a predefined name by Microsoft Excel. Now, last week, we talked about how big the column is and how many rows, right? So they have up to XFD. So anything that is 3-character name in front, you better don't use. Use anything that is 4-character alphabet with number at the back. If you have anything that has 3 alphabet with a number behind, then most probably you are going to end up using the existing name. So if can, have a minimum of 4 alphabets with number, then you are fine. Remember not the number of row that we have in one worksheet? Remember this? Right? XFD. So you want to call it Abu 2000. Cannot, no? Because Abu is inside the list. No? Okay? You cannot use anything that is 3-character. If can start with 4 alphabet, then you can have any number behind. So that's the reason also why I'm showing you the number of column yesterday, the other time. So I'm going to change this one to channel total. Edit. I'm going to call this one as channel total. So this is my habit. Now you don't have to follow me. I always use the first alphabet. Sorry. Always use the first alphabet as a capital letter for each word. So that make it easy to read. This is my habit. Right? If you put everything capital letter, it's going to be very hard for you to read. You make everything small letter, also could be very hard for you to read. So you make the first alphabet of every word a capital letter. At least you know there's a starting of another word. Then you will read it easily. Okay, so I'm going to remain this as channel total. Now you see what happened when I click OK. I close this one. No longer call total. You are not adding another name, but you are changing the name. So when I click close. So now you see channel total all the way. So when I click on this cell, it's called channel total. The formula has changed automatically. Same goes with the one which is very far away in my last worksheet general report. So as long as it has been used in that particular worksheet, right, in any of the formula, the moment you go to the manager, you change the name, all the formula that uses total just now has changed to channel total already. How is it so far? Do you understand the formula? Can, huh? All right, now, what I'm going to do now is this, right? I just want to tell you that we are not limited to one cell, one name. No, we can have multiple cell, one name. For example, if I want to call this particular range, right, E3 to E13, I want to give this cell a name. Now, if you are okay to use the title at the top as the name, then that will be an easy job. But if you don't want to follow the title at the top, then you have to be a little bit more hardworking, which means you have to like highlight this and type the name, highlight this and type the name, because you are not following the title at the top. Now, let's make it easy for ourselves. We want each of the column here to follow the title that we have at the top. I want them to follow the title. Huh? So this is how I do it. I'm going to highlight all the title with all the 11 value below it. So the instruction that I'm going to give Excel now is, Excel, make every column using the name given on top, on the top row. So I go back to my define names ribbon here, right? This time I'm not going to look at the manager, but I'm going to use for this create from selection. I'm going to define the names of my selection using the top row. So let me click this now, create from the selection. Remember I highlighted this range, create from the selection. So all you need to do is just click top row. You're using the top row as the name. So I click OK. Looks like everything is done, but you do not know whether really are done. Now, this is what you do. You go to the name box, you click the drop down arrow, you will see direct, online, retail. So when you click, they will highlight. If I click online, they will highlight online. You guys following what I'm trying to do? Right. So I already named them. I don't have to do it one by one. So imagine I have 30 columns. I don't have to do it one by one. I can just do all my 30 columns with one single click. I just highlight them. Now one single highlight, just press one button, done. Okay. I can also do this. I select all the titles on the left and I select the 3 column, which is the value. Now I'm excluding total until retail only. I highlight all the code with all the 3 column information here. I click create from selection. This time I'm going to use the left column. Anyway, Excel detect that for you. I'm using the left column as the label. So when I click OK, now you will be expecting 11 names for this each row here. See? 11 names for each of the row. So if I click here, PSD 200 ml, it will highlight PSD 200 ml for me. Because I don't have to do it myself one row at a time. I can do it using the label that I already have. Understand? So if I am now somewhere in this worksheet, my boss says, hey, can you tell me what is the online total? What is the online total? So I say, okay, equals to sum. Then I just type online. I don't have to remember online is where. I just type online. Then I know it's 123,000. 658.64. So the formula says, the formula text says, I don't have to remember name range E3 to E13 or 15. Cannot remember which one. T13, I think. I don't have to do that. So when I go to this thing called online, I already have this range. So if I write the formula here, equals to sum, then I put online, equal to sum online. You notice they highlight the online area for me. And I'm going to actually write a sum function. There you go. Start. Now I'm showing you a method that you can use to write your formula across many worksheets without actually having a lot of problem. okay, without having a lot of problem. You just name the columns. If let's say this is your data, name the column, and then that's it. You got it. Okay, so try to make your work a lot easier to understand compared to the old traditional formula where you use the range yourself. Okay, so this is one of those examples that I can show it to you. Now, very quickly, let's play a very fast game here, everyone. Now, I need you to memorize here this number. Sivakumar, can I? Okay, I have Huisi. Who else do I have? Now, please try to memorize all this number. Type in the chat what is the answer. Okay, now don't if you have already opened this file, don't cheat. No, I want you to find out for me. What is the total, not total, the sales figure for online and SS1L. Who can tell me what is the sales number for online and the product is SS1L? Who can remember? If you cannot remember, you do this. Equals to online. Then you put a space. After that, you put the SS1L. Equal, put the equal in front. Now, you type in the name online, then you put a space. The space is mandatory. You must have a space. If you don't have a space, then it won't work. So when I press enter, it's 12,707. So let's find out whether the answer is 12,707 or not. So let's do that. Online, SS1L. So the answer is 12,707. Okay, so if I write the formula here, it says equals to online. Then I put there space SS1L. That's where the two reference actually cross each other, they intersect each other. Then that's the answer. So this reference, this formula that I'm writing here, it's called the intersection formula. Okay, this one. So I put that equals to formula text. This one. So this particular formula that I'm writing here is called the intersection formula. Intersection formula. When two references intersect each other, that's the figure that we are looking for. So there's no reason to write VLOOKUP for work like this. If you can remember all the names, good. Okay? So from time to time, we will forget the name. So for example, we want to do retail, PST 200 ml. Okay, something like that. Now, this one I type it out already, so that means I remember. But assuming I don't have this particular label here, but I want to know the PST 200 ml with the retail. So I will do this, equals to, alamak, I cannot remember. So I just press F3. Now, just now we say you press F4, right? This one is F3. Yeah? In your F3, they will have something called paste name. So this paste name will appear all the names that you want to use. So I'm looking for retail. So I go down, retail. Click this one. Okay, so I got my retail. Enter. I put a space. Then I press F3 again. I'm looking for PSD 200 ml. Okay, there you go. You get my answer. 6,119, 96.47. Okay, so it's the same thing. It's the same thing that we do. Same thing. So you can press F3 to show that list of names that you have. Right? Besides going to the name manager, F3 is another option that you can have to see all the names. But that is to apply the name, that is not for you to edit the name. The one that call us is now the name manager, that is for you to edit the name. Okay? Just to give you all some idea on how that's done. Now I'm going to skip this one. Due to time factor because I'm going to be covering this again the following session. The following session is about tables and what data range. data range and table. So this is actually a data range, and we're going to convert into a table. And I'm going to show you this. How are we going to use a normal reference to write our formula and how to use structure reference? So I'm going to skip this. So let's assume you don't see this now. I hide it. You didn't see anything. All right. Now I have 5 other worksheets before I call the end today. I have a worksheet that call Linus. Linus, use your sales. You are selling detergent. You're no longer an IT expert. Only for tonight. Only for tonight. You're selling detergent. And you sold 475 bottles for this 100 ml. And this is your total. Okay. Then Ko, you are also one of the agent to sell this. And then we have Noel. Noel, are you here, Noel? Noel is not here, but this is his sales. And then we have Carissa. Carissa, you are also in the list here. Right. So now, my job is to find out what is the total quantity sold from Linus all the way to Carissa. I need to add up the total. Let's say we are aiming for the first product first, the 100 ml for pure soft detergent. So I want to know, so 475 plus with 606 plus with 994 plus with the 291. What is the total here? Okay, so can I, Stephanie, you have a question. Sorry, I didn't see your hand raised just now.
Yeah, it's okay. I'm sorry, wrongly pressed.
Oh, wrongly pressed. Okay, I thought you have a question. Now, since your mic is on, may I ask you, Stephanie?
Yes.
If you are given this job, how are you going to complete this one?
I will using link.
So I mean equals to?
Just like go to Linus sheet, then equal there, yeah.
C5 lah, then?
Then enter.
Enter only.
Uh,
I want to add up everything.
then
Noel.
Okay, call Noel, then plus call C5.
Plus Noel.
Yeah, C5.
Plus Carissa. Right? That's the last one already, right? So I press enter.
Yeah.
So let's remember the answer is 2366. I just put on top there. The answer is 2366. So this is very common. Thank you. Thank you, Stephanie. That is what a lot of people will do.
Yes.
There's nothing wrong with this formula. It's like you are linking all the information together. Right? That's good. Now, this formula has a little bit of, what do you call that, complexity in it. Why I say complex in it is, now we have 4 people. So, Stephanie, you found your friends, your buddy are all inside this company selling detergent and doing quite well. So you also want to join them. So if you join them, that means I need to prepare a worksheet for you. And then this formula, I need to go and plus Stephanie C5, isn't it? So after that, Siwa also want to join. Yuan also want to join. Everyone here wants to join this company. Then I have to keep on plus, add already, plus, everything together. I don't want to do that, right? 1 week later, you see about 3% resign. Then you have to go to the formula and delete. Then another 6 people join. Then you have to add up again. It's a bit complex, not to say that it's not right, but it's a bit complex to manage. So what I want to do, I want to write a very simple formula for this. First thing, there are certain things that I must follow. There's a couple of rules here. Now, how I design this particular, this 5 worksheet here is this. I only design Linus, 1 worksheet only. I only design this 1 worksheet. I make sure that this is arranged in this order, and each of the column, the title is the same. So I want all the other people that's going to have the same product sales to use the same template design that I have. So what I do is I just copy and paste. I copy Linus, put here, then I change it to Ko, copy and paste Noel, then copy and paste, I change to Carissa, copy and paste, I put the January report. So I just copy, paste. Then I will have 5 worksheets which is identical looking, exactly the same. Same cells, same referencing, same structure, everything is the same. Only different is the quantity. The quantity will drive a different total sales and the different commission. Okay, so that is the one that makes it different. Okay, so what is the formula going to be? Now, do you remember I mentioned about the sum function when I say you must start somewhere and you must end somewhere? I'm going to use that again now. All right, let's take a look. I go to January report. I click here. I put equals to sum. Now, you remember I told you the sum function must have a start, must have an end. So where am I going to start? I'm going to start with minus C5. Okay, down. Where am I going to end? I'm going to end at Carissa. So I'm going to hold down one finger. I'm going to hold down the shift key. I'm not going to let go. I'm not going to let go yet. So I'm going to hold down my shift key. Then I use my mouse. I click on Carissa. Let's take a look at the formula. So this is my start. This is my start. Okay. And this is going to be my so I tell them, please start from Linus all the way to Carissa and add up all the C5 for me. Why I'm so confident this is going to work? Because earlier I told you I copy, paste 4 times. So altogether I have 5 worksheets that looks identical. I can almost guarantee that the quantity for pure soap detergent 100 ml, all of them are in C5. Because I just copy and paste. How different can it be, right? So I just press enter, I'll get 2366. You see the same answer that I have there. Then I can just copy it down. Okay, so Stephanie, I remember I told you if you join this company, then how? What happened? You have to add another one here for Stephanie, right? Okay, so Siva Kumar, are you there, Siva Kumar?
So Kelvin, is mean that if I want to add anyone, I just add in middle, then the number will change.
Yes. Okay, so since you are off your mic, let me ask you again. If you were to supposed to make another copy of worksheet for yourself, what are you going to do here? How do you duplicate a worksheet for yourself?
Couple ways. Some is insert, then copy, then otherwise just pull it, then copy a sheet.
Here is it, move or copy.
Yes.
Then click create a copy, right?
Yeah.
Put between Linus and Carissa lah. Okay.
Yeah.
Now this is what a lot of people will use lah, right?
Mhm.
Now I want to do it a shortcut. Look
Oh.
carefully. I'm going to drag this code. I'm going to make a duplicate for the worksheet code. So I did drag. Now whenever I move, there's a small triangle that move wherever I'm going. You see? So if I let go my mouse now, I'm going to take this worksheet code and put in front of Noel, or shall I say after Noel. But I don't want to put after Noel. I'm not going to move them. I want to make a duplicate copy. So before I let go my mouse, see, I'm still holding on to it. I haven't let go my mouse. If I let go my mouse, before that, I will hold down a control. So I hold down control. Then I let go my mouse. I'm making call number 2. So all I have to do is just start here. Stephanie. And then I will change up here as well. How to spell that already? E-M-N-I-E. Okay, so Stephanie. Did I get your name correct? Okay, yeah, correct.
Yeah.
Okay, so Stephanie. So Stephanie, you belum jual lah, you haven't start selling lah, you just join only ma, 0 lah. So you look at the answer, 2366 lah. Stephanie, you are a super sales lady. So you go in, you start sell only 1,000 bottle already. So it was 2366 now. Because you sold 1,000 bottle, it become 3366 already. You look at the second one, 3019, 1475. When you start selling, nobody can stop you. You start selling, you 1,000 bottle again. See what happened? 4019, 2475. Automatically, they include that 1,000. Now, do you notice I don't have to add another worksheet like plus Stephanie C5? As long as I put your worksheet in between Linus and Carissa, you are in the game. Are we clear about this? Drag.
Sorry, Kelvin, can you try to give the formulation again? Because sorry that I'm using the browser. There is a bar that is already blocking all the formulation.
Sorry again. What is missing? This formula.
No. The one that just now you said that every time when you want to copy a sheet, how you do so? Yeah.
Okay, let me remove this your worksheet first lah. I remove your one first. Okay, so I take call I take call, then I just drag. Don't let go your mouse. If you let go, you are just moving only. Okay, drag across. Before you let go your mouse, you hold on to the control. Hold on to the control. Now you try to observe the arrow. It's like carrying a piece of paper, right? There's nothing inside the paper, but when I hold down control, there's a plus symbol. The plus symbol means you're going to make a duplicate. So what do you let go first? Is it the control or is it the mouse? The mouse now. And then the control. The control makes a duplicate for you. This is where you tap in now.
Okay.
Definitely. So let me change the top part here also. Okay, so like I said just now, you haven't started selling anything, then the answer will always stay the same lah. But the moment you start selling, 1,000 bottle, so now it turns to 3,366. It was 2,366 earlier. So plus your 1,000 is 3,366 already. Now I don't have to move my formula or add my formula or edit my formula. So long I put your worksheet in between Linus and Carissa, you are in the game. The moment I drag you out, you are out of the game. You'll go back to 2,366. I didn't delete you, but I just put you outside Linus and Carissa. You won't be calculated. You have to be in between them. Then your numbers will be calculated.
Version, you need to press F9 to update the table.
Nothing like that. It is actually within the formula.
No, I mean, you automatically update the total. Because
Yes.
I think I use the older version that you need to press F9 to update it.
No. If your computer memory is already filling up, you will take a look at this one under the formula ribbon, right? There's a calculation option. If this has been set to manual, yes, you have to press.
Okay.
So if it's automatic, then okay. This particular feature will automatically switch depending on whether your computer still have enough memory or not. When the memory are actually less, you will notice your Excel is running slow. And then every time you change something, how come the formula don't change? That's because it has already changed to manual. Then you have to go and press the F9 to refresh. So it's like, I won't say you are right or you are wrong, but it depends whether this has been set to manual. Okay, but most of the time it's automatic lah. All right, thanks for the question. Thank you, Stephanie, for playing along. Thank you so much.
Thanks. It really helped.
So you see, even though it's only references, it can actually help us to do a lot of work really fast. So you can use name, you can use 3D reference like this. It helps you to consolidate your work a lot faster.
But the main point is that you have to make sure everyone using the same table, everything the same, right? If one people change something, then haywire already.
True. You're right. You're right. Okay, so let's take a look. I'm making this one a bit smaller so that you can see both. This is a brand new worksheet with nothing inside. This one is the one that I'm using just now, right? The one that I use. So let me just say I take Noel. I want to put Noel over here, but I don't want to drag and drop Noel over to a new worksheet, but I want to make a copy of Noel. So I drag this. Okay, I drag across. See the black arrow? You see the black arrow coming along? Now, before I let go my mouse, I hold down my control. I can actually just bring any worksheet from any other workbook, drag, control, drop. And I'm making a copy already. If I don't hold down the control just now, I'm just moving it only. Do you get the idea? Now, it's actually the same thing, you know, right click, move for copy, right? I can create a copy or I can move. Then to where? To the new workbook or to a book one. So all this thing that you see in this dialog box, there is a manual, there is a shortcut for it. Right? Just hold down the control, you make a copy. If you don't hold down the control, you're moving it. So you can move from one worksheet to another workbook by just drag and drop. If you don't hold down the control, it will not make any copy. Same thing, right? So if I want to take Carissa over as well, drag Carissa over. Before I let go my mouse, I hold down my control, I let go. Then I have two worksheets in this new workbook already. Understand? Do you like what you see? Just drag and drop only. I feel that this is like, wow. It saved me like what? How many steps just to get that thing over to another workbook?
I think the major thing is that you taught us today is that try to minimize the error, because always just like what I'm done just now is that plus. You accidentally forgot to plus one or accidentally pass to the wrong cell. Everything
The one why the total didn't tell you.
yes, then you don't know why. If you really come to 100, I mean, at least 100 data, then you plus so many. Oh gosh,
Yeah.
then you don't know where it's happening, and then this really save a lot of time.
So you just have to arrange all your worksheet side by side. Make sure those worksheet which is not related one, put them outside. Don't put them in the list. Because the moment you put anything that is not related suddenly inside the list, then again you're gonna have another problem.
Okay.
Okay. So these are the things that I'm going to talk about, minus this one. So I gray out this one. Because I'm going to talk about this next week. So I decided to drop it. Due to time, I already overshot by what? 10 minutes already. So I'm not going to take too much of your time. Okay, Cole, I pass it back to you.
All right. Thanks, Kelvin. Thanks for the great sharing on the cell references and also the name range. Right? I think this helped us a lot, especially while we are creating a formula across different cell or even different sheets. And it actually minimize and actually eliminate the possibility of getting the formula wrong on the wrong cell or even wrong figure that we actually wanted. Right. So I think this is a very good sharing, and then it actually helps us to minimize the issue that we face in the Excel. All right. Thank you very much, everyone. So I have placed the feedback form into the chat window. Feel free to share your feedback to us, and also let Kelvin know what other topics you are interested in, and
Yes.
we will actually add on top of that. All right. Thank you very much, everyone.
Okay, thank you
Good
so
night.
much, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye, and see you next week. All right, next week we'll talk about VLOOKUP as well as some index, right, and max, right?
Yeah.
All right. So see you next week. All right. Good night, everyone. Bye.
Thank you.
Thanks.
So, Mike, you have a question, Mike?
Thanks, Kevin.
All right. Good sharing. All right. Okay, everyone.
Kelvin.
See you next week.
Yeah. Bye. Mike, last week you told me you have a question to ask.